should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Happy Monday. Welcome to TMW Online. I'm Linda. That is Abby. We are covering all things 90 Day Fiance the other way today. And what an appropriate title for season 7, episode 13. J'ai un rêve, which means I have a dream. Not quite the dream that we know from Malcolm. Oh, it's not Malcolm X. How rude of me, Linda. But it's still, I have a dream. I have a dream to get married. I have a dream to move to another country. I have a dream to not get married. I mean, there's a bunch of dreams going on in this episode. So it's a really good episode. What were your thoughts on it?
Very good. I feel like we hit the jackpot with these 2 seasons that we're covering right now. This a season of Other Way, the season of Before the 90. Like, there's so many conversational things going on, so many things that we can just chat about with you guys.
100%. Live chat is popping.
Yeah.
What's up, ladies? Hey, girls. Hey. Let's jump right in. Chloe and Johnny. Overall thoughts on their segment.
Overall thoughts on their segment is in relation to parenting. Okay. I don't think, in my judgment of parenting, that what she's doing right now is good parenting.
Michelle,
I think that you have fallen into your desires as opposed to being concerned about your child. I also think that you're not seeing your child objectively. I think you have to admit when your child is the one who's in the wrong and be able to see your child objectively and not just root for your child in every single situation, like correct their errors so they can become a better person too. So I judge you. I understand you, Michelle. Like, I understand you want to do whatever it is to take your child back. And I understand that you want to believe your child, but not you, Michelle, in the chat, but Chloe's mom, Michelle, I don't think that you're doing good parenting right now.
That's funny. I think that there are a lot of complexities going on in this dynamic. So let's break it down. So Michelle and Johnny go for a run, and it's going to be like this one-on-one time just before Michelle is leaving the next day. So she really wants to kind of stick it to Johnny, basically, I think. She knows Johnny cheated, and it's making her more concerned about their relationship, about leaving her daughter in Aruba, and just her own personal feelings of whether she can trust Johnny or not. And, if it was up to her, as we know, she would bring her daughter back to Boston and call it a day. It's quite interesting how the vibe that I'm getting is very, very like helicopter mom, but she's trying not to be, but she's also using her money and influence on her daughter to really try to dictate what her daughter does. And I think that it's probably important for her to allow her 23-year-old to make her own mistakes, if this is indeed a mistake, but have her own experiences and her own journey. I think that that's going to be important for Michelle to learn at some point. So they go for this little run. And one of the things I liked was they go to Eagle Beach, and we learned that Eagle Beach is famous for these 2 trees. And I want to say he said DVDV trees that basically they change shape and form in the wind. And I was like, see, those are the things that I want to know.
Absolutely.
To Aruba, and now I know Eagle Beach, there's something there special that if I ever go, I'll be able to say, oh yeah, I remember learning about this, back then. So Michelle confronts Johnny about cheating in Miami, and he was taken aback, as he should be. So my first question to you guys in the live chat and to you, Abby, is do you think that if you're in a relationship, you should share the details of your relationship with family members?
My first instinct is to say no. But I also have sisters. So I think you kind of have to gauge like who is a safe person in my family to talk to so that if I want this relationship to continue, that me sharing this thing is not going to be a problem. Of my sisters, I can do that with two of them. Well, I have four, but I only talk to three of them. That's a whole different story. But I can do that with two of them. So you have to kind of gauge. And with my mom, never. My mom is going to hold a grudge forever and ever more. So if I have any plans for this relationship to continue, she doesn't need to know about it.
Michelle in the live chat says, no, it's not their business. I am of the belief that it depends on why you're telling your family member the story. Are you telling the family member the story as part of your life story? Or are you telling that story in order to put your partner in a negative light? Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to get over whatever the situation is, but your family members are not going to, because they're going to remember that person for what they did to you because they love you. So they're always going to take your side. So then you've now put your partner in a terrible position because your family members are always going to be looking at them side eye. So it really does depend on the reasoning on why you're telling. And in this situation with Chloe and Johnny, I don't think that Chloe was 100% honest with her mom about what that situation looked like. Because from Johnny's perspective, when he's confronted by Michelle, he tells her, well, we weren't serious. We were not in a committed relationship. We were both going out with different people. It's different now because now in the last few months, we're committed to each other and now it's serious. And I wouldn't do anything like that because now I'm in a one-on-one committed relationship, which goes back to what I've been telling you guys about dating, right? So as I've been dating and my view on dating is if you're dating, that is what dating is. You are going on dates, you're going on multiple dates until you meet someone that you're like, hey, I think I want to be exclusive with this person. And now you're exclusively dating one person. And that exclusivity turns into a relationship. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you are dating multiple people, you just met someone, hey, you met someone online or you met someone at the grocery store, you went on one date and then you're going on a date with someone else a few days later, that's what dating is.
Right.
And that's not cheating.
Correct.
So if they were not exclusive, he has all the rights in the world to go to Miami and be on a date with somebody else.
Right. Right. But what Michelle does is she takes his response, lets it go in one ear and out the other, and gives no credibility to it. She doesn't listen to what he says. She doesn't go and ask Chloe about it. Nothing. Just in one and out the other. And that is a parenting failure. You have to, as a parent, be willing to accept that sometimes your child is wrong.
Facts. Becca says, if you want your friend family to have a relationship with your partner, it's not a good idea to spill the tea because it will taint your friend family's perspective. So Michelle, like Abby just said, wasn't really hearing Johnny, wasn't feeling what he was saying. And Johnny, on the other hand, felt like, hey, you know what? Chloe shouldn't have told her about that Miami trip because A, she's making me look bad, but B, she didn't give the full story. She didn't tell her mom that she too was also seeing somebody else. And Johnny's not going to go and say, hey, oh, by the way, your daughter was also seeing somebody else. So is that the full story? Is that the full picture? Or is Michelle now seeing Johnny specifically in a way that Chloe has made her see him like that? It's unfortunate, I think. I really do.
Yeah.
So Michelle goes on to say, hey, you know what? I really hope that I can trust you. I need to know that she's going to be okay with you, that I can leave her with you and she's safe and secure. And she doesn't really believe it. So she's saying that, Abby, but she doesn't really believe it because she then goes to camera and says, I am of the belief once a cheater, always a cheater. So that is my question of the question of the day, live chat and replay. If you are a cheater, are you always a cheater? Abby?
So I think if you're the person looking for a relationship, it's not a bad rule of thumb to follow. If that person has cheated in the past, then go ahead and avoid them. However, if you're the person who's a serial cheater, I do think there's redemption for you. And the redemption is, can you be honest about what led to the cheating to begin with? Is it because you have low impulse control? Is it because you're selfish? Is it because you are looking for an ego boost? Like, if you can be honest with yourself about why you were cheating, then I think that there's redemption for you. But I don't think that you could be mad if people reject you because of your cheating history.
So your answer is?
I don't think that once a cheater, always a cheater, but I do think that in dating, it's a good rule to follow. If you're dating someone and they tell you my marriage ended because I was cheating, I think it's a good rule to go ahead and exit that, because the number of men who are willing to be introspective and emotionally intelligent is very small. So there's a window, there's an opportunity for you no longer to be a cheater. But the number of men who I think are going to go through that window are the same number of people who are going to go through the eye of the needle. What's the Christian thing? Like the the eye of the needle, the faith mustard seed thing. You know what I'm talking about, religious people.
I do know what you're saying. I think that what's a cheater? Always a cheater. I think that if someone's a serial cheater, it's more than likely that they're going to cheat again. I think that not necessarily once a cheater, always a cheater, but I do think that you have to have your radar up. And for me personally, I just that can't be me. So if you cheat once, it's a wrap. Like I just don't have the capacity, nor do I want to have to become the person where you really have to like forgive and forget and move on. That won't
Right,
be
right.
so.
And you know what's interesting? Like, men actually know this. They know that if you cheat on someone and they stay with you, they know they have less incentive to stop cheating.
Mhm.
So like they're more likely to get their act right in a new relationship than to stop cheating on that person that they already cheated on. They know that. They
Absolutely.
also know, like, I was listening to these men like confessions, and one of the guys said, your wife might stay with you if you cheat on her, but she's never going to be the same. Like, things are going to be different for the rest of the time that you guys are together. And all the guys were like, yeah, that happens. That's true. So they know that they're going to wreck you emotionally and mentally and change the way that your relationship is from there going forward. And they don't care. They're like, she'll stay, she'll still cook, she'll still clean, she'll still take care of the kids. They don't care that you're destroyed.
Oh, 100% agree. Oh, thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
Hi, Tommy. Thank you, Tommy.
Um,
Hey,
yeah,
thousand
guys,
pieces.
let us know what you think if you're watching the replay. Once a cheater, always a cheater, yes or no? So far, I'm seeing yes, yes, yes in the live chat. So I want to see if that balances out, or is everyone in agreement that once a cheater, always a cheater? That being said, we're coming to the day where Michelle is leaving, and she throws in that last dig. She's like, listen, I got my credit cards out. I'll buy you a first class ticket home. If you come with me, I'll do it right now. And Chloe's like, no, but you could leave the credit cards, right? So this is going to be a major shock to Chloe's system because she's now no longer being financially funded by her rich mama. And she's going to have to get a job. She's going to have to fend for herself. And this is really, in my opinion, Abby, going to test the relationship, right? Because she's been in this relationship funded by a six-figure income that came from her mama, living at home with her mama. So she really didn't have any bills. So 23 years old, this is going to be the first shock to her system where, you know what, you have to put on your grown girl pants and fend for yourself. How is that going to, oh Lord, what's happening here in the live chat?
You're getting proposed to in the live chat.
I think it's because of you guys. Make sure you head over to Abby and I's social media. We put a question out in the day. Have you ever met a man that changed your life forever? And, you know, I answered that question for me specifically. And we have someone in our live chat that is answering the question. He said, I will change your world. Now, he's not saying he will change it in a good way.
Right.
If you recall,
terms and conditions apply.
Right. Because if you recall my answer is like, well, I've met that person that changed my life and brought drama for no reason. So Michelle's leaving. And one of the things I thought was interesting, Abby, is that do you remember the part where Chloe literally says she doesn't know if she's making the right decision?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know if she should be staying, and she's feeling guilty about staying. But in the end, she thinks that she feels happier in Aruba. Now, I took a moment to think about that because you feel happy in Aruba because you've always been on holiday there. You've been vacationing. You've had good times. You've stayed with Johnny, but you've always been able to go home to your comfy, cozy life. You haven't actually lived there because, you know, you guys, like I always say, vacay bay is completely different than real life bay. That's why it's always important to be in that person's real space, see what that day-to-day is going to look like for the both of you. Because when you're on vacation, you're in a bubble.
Right.
You're in a bubble. So yeah, you feel happy there, but are you going to feel happy there in 6 months?
Right. Because Johnny said that normally when she came to visit, she would stay at a hotel, they would go out for drinks and go out and do activities, and she would pay for everything. So this is about to be a brand new existence. If mom actually keeps her word and really cuts her off, this is going to be a brand new existence because their social activities are about to be cut tremendously because mom was funding all of them.
Down to, you know what? Where are you going to get your hair done? Who's going to pay for that? Chloe?
Exactly.
Who's going to pay for your nails?
Right.
How are you going to get around because you still don't have a car?
No car. And she's
car.
apparently too good for public transportation. Michelle does one final thing on her way out that irritates me just as much as when she tried to say that his knobs were on the wrong way and at his oven at his house. Do you need directions to get to the airport?
Yeah, that was a dig.
Like,
sure that was a dig.
Would you ever? The one time that somebody's asked me if I need directions in my own neighborhood, that was 100% a microaggression. I mean, there's no way around that, right?
100%. 100%. You're asking the local if they need direct.
Exactly.
He picked you up at the airport. You don't think he remembers where the airport is? That's outrageous.
Like, I got this phone in my hand that's got to be more superior than your entire life.
Abby,
Let me get this GPS out.
Abby, are you seeing the live chat?
Oh, you have a villa in Sicily, Italy. I met this guy one time, random story, you guys, who said that our first date should be out of the country. And I blocked him so fast because you're not about to schmurder me. Okay? That, I take that as a threat.
Guys, I don't know, the live chat is popping. I don't know what to say. You do have me speechless right now for sure. Tommy with the Bone Davis. Abby, I just said Tommy with the Bone Davis.
Tommy T-Bone Davis.
So Michelle starts crying, and she is crying, in my opinion, because she's realizing she's gonna have to let go. She's gonna have to let go because there's nothing more you can do at this point. Your flight's going. Here we are. You're gonna have to let go. Your daughter's 23. It's not like she can't come back if she wants to come back. Let her go figure out her life. It's okay, Michelle. You'll be okay, and she'll be okay.
Right.
She says to Chloe, her leaving last words before she gets on the plane is show me you can take care of yourself here. And that's exactly what you want. I think as a parent, you want to make sure that you've instilled all the things in your child that they can be successful, they can be happy, but they can stand on their own 2 feet. And I think the reason why Michelle is so like up in arms is because she's coddled this young lady for so long that she thought she had more time to continue to coddle her. And that's not happening. And so she doesn't know if she's actually really given the tools to Chloe to be successful.
Correct. I agree with this assessment.
Is there anything else you want to add to Genevieve? Genevieve.
Just, one more thing on Chloe and Michelle, her mother. Are you the kind of parent or aunt or, adult figure to a kid who praises them regardless? Like she says to Chloe on the way out, I'm proud of you anyway. And I'm thinking to myself, what exactly are we proud of?
Mm.
I was never a parent who praised regardless. I only give you praise if it's true and genuine. There's one incident that I regret with that regard when Taylor was younger. But for the most part, it was always like, if you have a real accomplishment, then I will praise you.
Mm-hmm.
I never gave it out but the one thing that happened that I regret is that when they were learning how to write, the teacher had put out, it's like first grade teacher had put out like the kids writing their own little sentences outside of the wall of the door to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And so Taylor was asking me like, do you see mine? Can you read it? Do you know what it says? I had no idea what it said. Okay. So I was like, well, I think I'm getting the concept of what you mean, but we can work on it at home. Whole face crushed. Just crushed. And that's the only time I've regretted as a parent giving like real feedback. But beyond that, no.
Yeah, I totally understand. Totally understand that. We're moving on to Greta and Matthew. And oh my goodness, you guys, I did not see this coming. Shocked. Am I shocked? 100%. I am shocked. But then after I got over my initial, like, what is happening? I understand what's happening. So let's get into it. So the previous episode, she told Matthew that she was unsure that she wanted to have kids. And now she's spiraling about the relationship, right? Because she's had all this time to think about it. She said out loud what she's been feeling deep down for some time now. And so she sends out an SOS to the wives chat, which is her friend group back home. And specifically, she's talking to Hannah. And she is going to download to Hannah what she's been feeling for the last 6 months. Dare I say the last couple of years. And here's why. Okay, so first, side note, you remember last episode, you guys, where Matthew and Greta went apple picking, but we didn't know if they were apple picking for people or the apple picking for these random hogs that are on the farm. It's not even a farm, their house in the backyard. They got hogs in the backyard, but they were picking the apples for the hogs, and Greta was feeding one of the hogs, and the hogs got a little, this is funny to me, the hog got a little too greedy and not on the apple and also on Greta's finger. So she has this like duct tape on her finger to cover the cut. It's the whole thing. It definitely distracted me, but at least I now know what it was. So Matthew's shocked about her not being sure that she wants to have kids because, as we know in previous episodes, they talked about kids, that they both wanted kids. They named their kids. They said how many kids that they wanted. They went and looked at a house where they could have an extra room where the kids could live and stay and all the things, right? So he's really shocked that all of a sudden Greta is like having second thoughts about children. And she is not sure she will ever want them. And she's been thinking about this for months now, you guys, for months. And she just said it out loud to him. Now, here's the thing that I was like, if you guys recall a couple episodes back, when he said to her, well, just basically have the baby and I'll be 200% the father. Like, I basically will do all the things. You just have to pop the babies out and I'll take care of everything else. And I said that that's a red flag, right? Because what is that saying about your belief and value in the woman that you're with?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think that is detrimental to the children that you would be bringing into this world,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if the mom doesn't really want to have a kid, and then now that kid is going to have a relationship with someone that didn't want them in the beginning, and who knows how that's going to pan out for the whole span of their life, that's not fair. So Matthew takes it one step further in this episode and says he'll choose her over kids. The deeper part of him loves her so much to his core that he's willing to choose her over children. Now, I want you guys, I need you guys to come closer. Closer. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This man, I'm telling you, I'm not a betting woman, but I'll bet you on this 100%. In 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, he is going to regret this statement. He's going to resent Greta, and they will either end up divorced or something worse.
Mm-hmm.
Period, full stop.
He would have badgered her.
You said from the get-go you want the traditional life. You want marriage and children. You want to be the provider. Just like Greta said, you're expecting a specific type of English wife that you come home and the cooking and the cleaning is all done. Okay. And here's the thing: prior to studying 8 hours a day, every day, all day to pass the bar, after she's already spent, 4 years in undergrad and law school, right? The final step of passing the bar, it's changed her.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed her. And she's realizing how much it's changed her and how important it is for her to figure out what that career is going to look like. And Abby, as an attorney, made a really valid and important point a few episodes ago, where she said that Greta is probably seeing her peers get their first jobs, be in the space that she wants to be in, and she sees her peers moving ahead in their careers after all years and years of hard work, you guys. And passing the bar is not an easy feat. A lot of people don't pass on the first try.
Mm-hmm.
So put all that work in, and then to be like, hey, I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to fly over and I'm going to be an English housewife. She's having doubts, y'all. She's having doubts. Is this going to fulfill her? And she's having doubts. And that's okay to have doubts, right? Because she's a different person than she was 2 years ago. She's a different person. That's why I say it's very important, you guys, to figure out who you are and to know who you are before you're connected to someone else. She's only 27 years old. She was 20.
Yeah, there's something else that I think happened. I think everything that you said is true, but there's something else that I think happened that she probably is not even really aware of. She said while she was studying for the bar, which you guys, I never took the boards for medical school, so I don't really know what a good comparison is. But studying for the bar is such an intense experience. Okay, you're head down 16 to 20 hours of the day. If you're not in class, you're doing your own study guides, you're doing your own multiple choice, you're doing your own practice essays. It's a really, really intense experience. And she said while she was studying for the bar, she lost connection and their interactions didn't feel romantic. You know what that translated to me? He wasn't being supportive of her bar study. And if you have a partner who's studying for the bar, you have to be able to show up for them. I'm sorry, they don't have anything to give you during that time period. So if you're not finding ways to show up for them, whether that is sending a little card of support here and there, a little gift here and there. I mean, somebody gave me a Starbucks gift card while I was studying for the bar, and you have no idea how much that meant to me.
Mhm.
You know, like during that time, the connection is fading away. And I see people blaming her for not voicing what was going on earlier. She cannot do that in the midst of bar study. You cannot. You cannot lose focus or else you're going to miss that shot.
Mhm.
You just can't. So she thought, I'm just going to power through this and ignore the fact that I'm not getting the support that I need right now. I'm going to power through this and we're going to work it out on the other side. Unfortunately, she gets to the other side. She arrives there. She's seeing her peers go on, like I said before. But in addition to that, you arrive to a man who is calling you stinky, hasn't prepared a place for you to put your things. So now it's not, we were disconnected while I was studying for the bar. This is just who he is. He's just not supportive. Nothing about their interactions in the months prior to her arrival and now would make her feel comfortable enough to continue giving up her career, starting, and to go ahead and have children with the amount of effort that he's putting in. And I don't think she's able to articulate it right now because she's feeling so guilty. She's feeling like she did something wrong. But her body is telling her, this person is not supporting you.
I do think that she's realizing it though. I do think, and I think that that's why she's feeling guilty because she goes on to say, and all the things that you said, I'm just going to add to it as well. She said that she lost connection while she was studying for the bar. She's like, are we not connected? Are we no longer connected? Is there not a vibe there? Those are the things that are flowing through her head. So she thought she would wait till she saw him in real life. And when she saw him in real life, she didn't feel the same spark in her heart, she said, that she had previously. And she doesn't feel romantic towards him. And even when they were intimate, it fell flat, she felt. She felt like there was no connection. So you can imagine there's no emotional connection, there's no physical connection. So she's really questioning the whole relationship. So she acknowledges on her part that she's changed over the last few years. And she's also acknowledging that they may no longer be compatible, which what they do, you guys, which was really kind of like jarring, is they juxtapose it to this wonderful older couple that's sitting in a park and they have this really romantic kiss. The one's in uh like a not a rocker, but like a I don't know, like a wheelchair type situation, one sitting on the bench, but they have this passionate kiss, and you can tell that they've had this passionate kiss for years upon years upon years. And just to show that, and you're comparing it to what's going on with Greta and Matthew, and we've yet to see them have that passion that Greta is talking about. There's no spark, and so after moving to England, Greta's not sure if this is who she is anymore. Is she going to be the English house mom? And she gives the analogy of Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth. And here's where it was like, you know what? She's really having the conversations that you have to have with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, you guys. And a lot of people are not honest with themselves. They just kind of power through and hope that it works out. And that's why a lot of couples, they don't actually even like each other. They're just too far in that they don't want to make any changes because they're comfortable in their unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
So she says that she realizes that she's been pretending to be the person he needs. I'm going to say that again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to resonate with some of you. Okay. She's pretending to be the person he needs. And for him, she thinks he wants a nice English housewife that cooks and cleans. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, you guys. Traditional families, traditional households, if that's what you want, then that's what you should have. But she's questioning that because she has spent, let's say, the last 6 years of her life studying to be an attorney. And that is no easy feat. So she's questioning, is this what I really want? Is this the forefront of what's important to me? Or do I want a career that I studied for? And do I want to see what that's going to look like? Right? Before I set it aside, do I want to actually give it a chance? And I think that that's okay to have those conversations. And I do think there's a lot of self awareness there, even if she doesn't right now, that for her to say and to know that she's pretending to be someone she's not. I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of people that are pretending, faking the funk, that won't ever admit that.
Her introspection is wonderful, and she's doing something difficult right now that's going to save her a lot of heartache down the road if she was to push forward. And it's going to save him a lot of heartache down the road if they were to push forward too, because he shouldn't have to be what he calls 200% parent, and he shouldn't have to give up if he wants to be a father. So she's doing something difficult that is the best thing for both of them, and she does not deserve the hate that a lot of people are sending her way simply for being introspective and honest.
Listen, what Abby said. It might hurt right now. You're ripping off that band-aid and it hurts and it's uncomfortable and it's making you sad. But in the long term, listen, this is less pain than what could happen when you're all intermingled. It's years later, maybe there are kids involved, there's a dog involved, and both of your families are involved. Listen, it's better now than 5 years down the road, guaranteed.
Yep.
So Greta also noticed that she's been telling him less and less about her life. And because of that, they're lacking the emotional intimacy that they both deserve. And I agree with her when she says this, that the right person can make you feel like you can fly, right? Because the right person who is supporting you and you're supporting them, it's like you two against the world. And I know I've talked about this before, but if you're new to our channel, I'm going to say it again. The world is hard. It's hard. It's difficult. There's bumps and bruises out there. And if you're with the right person, when you go home, that should be your comfort. That should be where you can exhale. You can be your true and authentic self. And you can say all the things that you can't say or don't have the opportunity to say out in the world because that's your person. And your person is then going to be able to pour into you and replenish your spirit and your soul so that the next day, guess what? When you wake up and you have to go out into the big bad world again, your cup is full, right? So you come home, it's empty. You both replenish each other's cups so that you can do it again outside. But you can't be half empty dealing with all the things in the world and then come home and fake in the funk. That's exhausting. Pretending you're someone who you're not, because when do you actually get to exhale? You don't. So I think Greta making the hard decision, it's shocking to me, but I'm proud of her to be able to understand that, you know what, I need to take a step back and figure out what's best, not only for me, but for this situation.
Exactly.
Bravo.
Bravo, Greta.
So Matthew comes home, she's crying, and she's like, how are you feeling about what I've said about not wanting kids or not being sure that I want kids? And Matthew said he feels like a ship in choppy waters. And where Greta just gets to the nitty gritty. She's like, grateful I met you, but you deserve the world. You deserve someone who loves you. You deserve someone who wants your affection and can give you that equal same amount of affection. You deserve someone who is being truthful, not only to you, but to themselves. And I don't think I love you anymore. Hard. It's a hard conversation to have. But I appreciate her honesty because it could go a different way. You could be faking the funk. And I dare say some of you are still faking the funk.
Yeah. She's being very nice about it too, you guys. She's taking a lot of this on on herself. She's taking a lot of blame. She could be saying, she said, oh, I was telling him less and less about my life. She could be saying, he stopped asking questions about my life. He stopped asking me how bar exam was going. He stopped being a part of my life and wasn't making, like, she could turn it the other way, because the other way sounds true to me. But she's taking it all on herself. And that's really nice. That's a nice way to exit a relationship, is to say, to save the other person as much as possible.
100%. She is showing a lot of emotional maturity.
Right.
Do you want to add?
Ash? No, I don't have anything else to add to them. I hope we see Greta again in some capacity, if this is the end and we don't see her return to her home. I want to know what goes on, with her career. I'm interested to follow it. So if she's going to be on Hunt for Love or something else, I'd love to see her.
Yep. I don't think it's the last we've seen of her at all. So let's keep seeing what happens during the season as well.
Okay.
On to Manon and Anthony. Overall thoughts of their segment, Abby? I already know that we're not going to agree.
Listen, this segment made me say, okay, Manon, you've finally gone too far. Like, I cannot find a roadmap to being able to defend you this time. I defended you on the goat farm thing, right? You had the wrong clothes on for that. You didn't have the information, didn't have a heads up. Now you're in a city square, you're in comfortable clothes, and you're still not happy about this little thing that he did. Like, I'm unable to defend your reaction here, Manon.
I'm shocked, because I thought for sure you were going to defend her again.
There's no pathway for me to do it. There's no end. There's no, like, what did Anthony not consider? What did Anthony do wrong? There's no inroad for me to be like, okay, I see what Manon's perspective is. There isn't one.
Manon, if you're watching this, I really need to understand what it is that you want your husband to do to make you happy. Because everything that I'm seeing that he's doing to reach out, and he's trying to take the core memories that you have and move them forward to create new memories, none of it is making you happy. And not only is it not making you happy, you say mean and terrible things to him that I just don't. How is that making your marriage better? I'm sorry. I was your biggest cheerleader for the first few episodes. I thought you were amazing, because you just like the whole package, it seemed to me. But you seem kind of miserable, and I want to know why. Because this guy, clearly you guys have different personalities, but he loves you so much, and he's doing all the things to try to show you that he loves you. So this guy, you guys, Anthony, contacts a mime and wants to do something special, a display of affection for the world to see how much he loves his wife. So he takes it in context of things that they've discussed as a couple. And one of the things that they joke about is that because he doesn't speak French, maybe one of the only jobs he could get was being a mime. That's the context of it. And they've been joking. It's been a running joke in the relationship this whole time. So he contacts a mime. He acknowledges that he may have missed the mark with the farm situation, acknowledges that. Says, hey, you know what? Maybe I didn't set up my partner for success. I thought I was doing a good thing, but maybe I missed the mark. So I'm going to try something different. I realize that I am not a serious person, but my partner is very serious. I like lighthearted things. My partner is very serious. So maybe I could do something lighthearted to lighten her up a little bit so she can laugh and enjoy our relationship. He meets with the mime. She shows him some moves, gets the makeup and the dress and a flower, a rose, right? Because this is all about, being romantic, a grand gesture to his partner.
Mm-hmm.
And she thinks that they're going to the circle, the park or whatever, to go on the Ferris wheel and to walk around. She's comfortable. She's in a t-shirt. Baby's with her. It's all good. She sees them, you guys, and she screams, WTF. She sees her husband as a mime and she's completely turned off. What is this spectacle? It's humiliating. It's not helping their relationship. She freaks out. She's screaming and yelling, what are you doing? You're making a fool out of yourself. You think putting on makeup and lipstick is sexy. You think that that's going to turn me on. You're doing the opposite. He gets down, he does a little mime stuff, ignores her crazy outburst, and gets down on a knee, hands the flower. She doesn't take it. She turns away and screams, says, you're scaring me and Ben, and says, you don't have the same sense of romance that I have. You look like a clown in front of all these people. And I was like, wow, that's really A, hurtful. B, it's mean spirited. C, what is it, Manon, that Anthony could do right that's romantic to you? I bet I could tell you. I bet if he took you to a 5-star restaurant, bought you a Louis Vuitton bag, went in debt just so that you could be up with the Joneses, that you would be happy. And unfortunately, that's not your situation right now. So he's trying to do the small things and you're so unappreciative. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. So this is my question to you. What is it that would be a romantic gesture that would help you get closer to your husband? I would like to know what that is. What does that look like? What show me, what does a day in the life of Manon and her partner look like that is a romantic situation?
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is, like, she's been telling him she wants him to learn French. So this was an excursion where he had to practice his French. Like, why are you not happy that he's getting out and doing something? By the way, what did you think of his French this episode?
I thought he did a great job. He was able to communicate. He didn't have all the words, but he was trying, and he was able to communicate to the point that he got to the goal. So what he wanted to do, he was able to achieve that. And, I personally don't see Manon helping her partner learn French. You know how you can help your partner to learn French is continue to speak French with them. Help them speak French out in public.
Mm-hmm. And don't criticize them all the time. The few times that we've seen him try to order or something with Manon there, she was very critical of him. That doesn't help people when you're learning a language to be more, willing to speak it out loud. So no, I didn't, normally I can see the other person's side of something, even if I don't agree with it. But in this situation, I don't even see her side. I don't see how what he did warranted her reaction at all.
I mean, she's constantly criticizing him. He can do no right in her eyes, as far as I've seen in we're 13 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
And what has he been able to do right? Nothing. She's constantly criticizing him, and she criticizes him in public and in private. It's never okay, and it's never enough.
No. Yeah, Faye said Manon has no sense of humor or adventure. I think that what we're learning is what, you kind of alluded to earlier, Linda, is that she's just a bit materialistic. And so the whole plan to move to France and downsize their life so that she could spend more time with Ben, it's never going to be successful if you're materialistic. I thought that she was just really into being a business person. That's where she derived her esteem from. But now I think it's more about just having certain things, like certain physical possessions.
Yep. I mean, her t-shirt, Los Angeles t-shirt said it all. Like, did you really leave Los Angeles behind, or are you trying to continue to to be the name and the brand of all the things. I don't know.
Right.
On to Dylan and Patia. Oh Lord. First of all, I'm a city girl as well. I am not camping in no tent in the rain. Not. That tent is not, it's not so rainproof that little drops of water are not going to be in coming in. And I'm not going to be freezing my butt off while the fire is outside that I'm roasting my stupid marshmallows on. If there is no cabin, okay, with running water and a toilet that flushes, count me out. I am
Yeah.
not sleeping on the ground. I'm not sleeping on the ground. And here's the thing, you should know that about Patia, but you want her to convert to what you say, because it's only what you say this lifestyle is in Australia. I know for a fact that not everyone is into camping and roughing it and little to no amenities. You just like that. Those are things that you like. But even if we go
Exactly.
to your home has all the amenities that Patia is used to. So stop it, Dylan. Just stop it. It's like you're trying to break her, trying to break the city girl out of the girl. And you knew, and you've known for a lot of years, at least 12 years, who you're in a relationship with. So just stop it.
Yeah.
So they're
Do
going.
you remember that TV show with Zaza or Ava Gabor where she's like a city girl and she marries that country dude?
No.
Green Acres is the place to be. No?
Mm-mm. I don't know if we have that in Canada.
Oh, that's what this reminded me of because she's like she's literally herself, Ava Gabor, like very luxurious and lots of jewelry and stuff, and she marries this country dude on a farm. It's actually I wonder if it would stand the test of time if I was to watch it now.
What's
Does
it
it
called?
stand the test of time? Green Acres.
Green Acres.
Yeah. I loved it when I was a kid.
Look it up. Um. So Patia's forgiven him for lying, right? Because he lied, you guys, and it's a big lie. And the way that he minimized it was really irritating to me. So this riff that Patia's had with Joe, his mom, for all these years, is based on a lie that Dylan told. Dylan told her that the mom didn't like her because of her age, and that's why she didn't want Dylan to be with her, and that she wanted grandbabies and she was too old to have grandbabies. That was a lie. Joe did not say those things, and I'm sorry, but I don't. How do you come back from that?
Everybody just glossed over it. Everybody just glossed over it. I do not understand why. Does she feel like, well, I've already moved here, so I have to stay here? Sunken cost fallacy. I don't I don't understand how this didn't become a major issue.
Yeah,
Even with his mother, like as a parent, my child is not going to lie to me and I'm just going to gloss over it. No.
what up, Bilal? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we're not all talking about it and up in arms. That's a major lie. And you sat with the lie for 2 years and let your mom and your significant other fight over
Right.
something that you lied about, and you don't say anything, and then you get caught and you're just like, oh, I don't really remember saying that, but if I did, okay. Wow. Wow. So they're camping in the rain, and Dylan thinks it's romantic, and shout out to Patia for not really complaining and going with the flow, even though this is not her cup of tea. She's just kind of going with the flow. At night, they saw a patamelon, which I thought was so adorable, jumping around, and it's a small little kangaroo. It's in the kangaroo family, but it's not a kangaroo. It's a patamelon. Super cute. And the mom, Joe, calls while they're camping, and this is another source of contention in their relationship because the mom calls all day, every day, and they look at his phone log, and you see it's all Joe, 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 and Patia's like, that's not normal. So my question for you guys, for this couple, question of the day for Dylan and Patia, is it okay to talk to a parent every day, all day, throughout your day?
Is it okay? Yes. Do people have a choice Whether or not they want to be in a relationship with you, if that's what you do, also yes. Would I be interested in being in a relationship with somebody who's on the phone back and forth with their mother or father all day long? Not really, because it's breaking up whatever we're doing, you know? And then, like, especially if it's not a necessary conversation, like they're just having general chit chat. It's not
So
a
here's what
necessary conversation that needs to happen right now.
I mean, I am close to my mom, so I talk to her often. I don't talk to her like 10 times a day, but regularly. I do think though what's happening with Dylan and Joe is something different. And I am going to go there, you guys. I think that Joe Okay, this is what I think. Oftentimes, especially in single parent households where the mom is the mom and the dad, uh, oftentimes the mom substitutes the son as the man of the house. And I'm not talking like gross stuff. I'm saying they substitute the emotional stability, the emotional connection, the emotional, I'm leaning on this person for where they are lacking because they don't have a relationship, uh, adult relationship. They're not dating anyone. The baby daddy is not in the picture. So they lean on the son to be all the things. And because they do it year upon year upon year upon year upon year upon year, by the time the son is an adult, that mother has heavily relied on all of her emotional well-being is wrapped around the son. How he's doing, how successful he is, where he is. Now you're in a relationship with your son where you can't live without talking to them because you have no sense of who you are without that relationship. That's what I think is
Yeah.
going on with Joe. I think Joe needs to go and get a hobby. I think Joe should like go to bingo or to, I don't know, kangaroo school, farming or camping land, whatever it is that she loves to do, and get a community of people that are of similar value and beliefs and start doing that so that she can have her own community of friends and actually cut the cord because your son is not your man. And part of the reason why, yes, you're smiling in Patia's face because you know that that's his partner, but part of it is you don't want to be replaced by her. And that is a scary situation to be in because, again, that's your son, that's not your man.
Right. Right.
Oh, bye, Fizzy. Thank you for being here.
We got Renee in the chat. The whole gang's here.
Hey, Renee. Hey, girl. Hey. Renee says that's exactly her situation as well. So here's the kicker, you guys. So Patia is trying to say, hey, you know what? You need to cut the cord with your mom. You need to stop talking to her all day, every day, and like pay attention to this relationship. And Dylan doesn't know if he wants to choose between his mom and his partner. He literally said, if Patia can't move past this, where I'm not going to make any changes, I'm going to continue to talk to my mom all day, every day, then I don't know what I'm going to do. And that, my friends, is why they're not going to work out because after 12 years, he's still not sure about her. And if she doesn't bend to his will, what he wants to go camping. He wants to live in Australia. He wants to talk to his mama all day, every day and be a mama's boy. He wants her to not work, but also now he's the provider, but on his terms. That where is that saying we equally are yoked? I am 100% committed to this relationship. I love all the things about you inside and out. No, you're saying I love you on my terms.
Yeah. Yeah. She's put herself in quite a predicament because there are multiple reasons that he's now given her out loud that he's not interested in marrying her. And we can't forget, she's on a timetable. She doesn't get to just move to Australia and stay there indefinitely. They have to move toward marriage or something else that'll allow her to live there. She can't just be on a visitor's visa forever. So there is going to be an expiration to how long she could just chill waiting for him to make up his mind. But so far, he's given us zero reasons. Dylan has told us zero reasons that he has to move forward with marrying Patia, and he's given us multiple reasons why he does not want to.
100%. 100%. 100%. That's it. That's all I have to say about them. This is not going to work. It's not going to work. And you know what? For 12 years, you knew it was not going to work. All this breakup to make up. Now, y'all, don't ever go backwards. Only move forward. There's a reason why you broke up the first time. There's a reason you broke up the second time. There's a reason you broke up the third time. No. No.
The fourth time, the fifth time, the sixth time, the seventh time, the eighth time. Like, yeah.
Wrong. Last of the episode, Madeline and Luke. And what were your overall thoughts on this, Abby?
I think that Madeline is, the same thing that I've said about her before. She's just giving us more insight into the fact that she's not making partnership choices based on like love and companionship. She's doing everything out of survival. And all she's telling us in this, at the brief, moments that we see them in this episode, she's just telling us even more reasons why choosing to be with Luke has nothing to do with love, companionship, wanting to have kids together and have a life together. It's just survival. She's telling him to his face, and he doesn't even understand what she's saying.
I agree with you up until that last point. Madeline definitely showed us who she was in this episode, and Luke, I think, is starting to realize. And there's a point in this episode, Abby, where she reels him back in. And she reels him back in because, in my opinion, she realized that the lifeline, the meal ticket, this whole survival string, whatever you want to call it, was about to walk away, and that's not what she wanted. And I'm gonna tell you the exact point that happened.
Okay.
So, wedding is this weekend. Luke is like, you know what? We don't make each other happy. We just fight all the time. And Luke's like, this is alarming to me. And it's foretelling what our marriage is going to look like. And he's like, I don't know what to do here. In my opinion, how I see things is I feel like you don't appreciate me. And because I feel like you don't appreciate me, it's like, I want to do less and less, but I'm going to continue to do all the things. But I just don't feel the appreciation. And then she says, you need to be careful on how you say things. So she doesn't like to be reminded that he's paying the bills, he's paying the rent, because the dynamic in this relationship is skewed. She feels like there is a monetary power over her, which is her deepest fear and insecurity, because she was raised in that trauma where she had not only like money insecurity, but food insecurity, shelter insecurity, family insecurity, all of those things. And the cherry on the top of all of that, and then she was surrounded by male predators. Okay. That is where she's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to her that Luke doesn't say, hey, you know what? I paid the rent and I'm giving you money and all the things, because she's had to struggle and we don't know what she's had to do, but she's had to do things to survive, right? So she doesn't like that wording. That's the first thing I got out of it. When Luke said, I don't know, I'm having doubts if I'm the right person for you. This is where she pulled him back in, because she started crying. Okay. And I'm sorry, but that was a manipulation, in my opinion, because she's only been yelling at him, saying how much he makes her mad, and how much he does not make her happy. This was the out. Okay. If those things that you've been complaining about for 13 episodes are true, this is the out. He's doubting if you're the right person, if he's the right person. That's his doubt. Maybe I'm not the one to make you happy. But that translated to her it is, oh, if he leaves me, the money's gone, the rent doesn't get paid, the bills don't get paid. How am I going to survive? I'm going to be thrown back into survival mode. So she starts crying, and then she says, I recognize that I'm a difficult person to make happy. And the reason why I'm difficult is because I have trauma from growing up, trauma from her 16-year-old mom, 16-year-old pregnant mom. Her mom got pregnant at 16 and had her. She has no dad. Bad men have been in her life. All she knows is men are cheaters, hence her insecurity and that craziness that I couldn't understand that he couldn't have a bachelorette party and that's considered cheating. Like all that, that's all from this trauma. She is surrounded by men who do not value women. And she feels the only love that she's had is the love that she's had for herself. And so she's had to love on herself and protect herself at all costs. So she's had no control in her life. She's only 20 years old and she's felt lonely throughout her life. And Luke is her first love. She has never had or been in love. She's 20 years old. So I say all of that to say she doesn't know what love looks like. She doesn't even know if this is love. She knows that what Luke brings to her is the stability that she's been craving her whole life. Luke brings the illusion of financial stability that she's been craving her whole life. Luke brings the attention that she's been craving, but not the bad, crazy, manipulative, predator attention, but the love that it seems that they have, the protected type of attention that she's craving. Luke brings to, if you want to just get down to the nitty gritty, the family structure that she never had. So
Mhm.
now she gets to between the two dogs that are like her little babies and the boyfriend that's like her husband, soon to be husband. She is getting the picket fence that she has been looking for her whole life.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, this is all wrapped up in a 20-year-old who's never been in a real relationship. So she doesn't even know what that is supposed to look like. Hence, here we are. Luke tells her, don't worry, you don't have to go through life by yourself. I want to give this another try. I see that you're trying to be open and vulnerable, and we can just start fresh and try to make this work. I'm sorry, you two. You guys are both making the wrong decision here, in my opinion.
So I think you might be right. But I will tell you what my original my original thought when she started crying was that she was crying out of frustration because she actually does not want to make this choice to be with Luke. You know, obviously she's seeing this doesn't really bring me the emotional regulation I need. She wouldn't use those words, but like it's not bringing me the peace that I actually want. But I fear that if I don't make this choice, then I won't have someone who offers me the financial stability that it seems that I have. Because remember, she doesn't know that he's actually like severely in debt yet. He's
Mhm.
never got around to sharing that. So
Mhm.
I think that I think that her cry was frustration because, again, out of survival, here she is making a choice to get married to someone who she probably knows, for all intents and purposes, is not going to lead to a happy life emotionally, but is a survival choice. And he has the ability to not participate in that. He has the ability to date someone his own age that's already established, but he chose to date someone who was vulnerable in that way and who is going to be set up to make choices differently than somebody who was actually independent and didn't grow up like that. So, you know, considering Renee, I think she said she was 13 or 14 when she went off on her own. She wasn't living with any family at all. She just had to make her way in the world on her own. So somebody who's living like that, you guys, I'm so sorry. You can't date that person at 18, 19 years old and think that they're making a choice for love. You can't. I mean, you can barely date somebody who grew up in extreme poverty. And if you're an extremely wealthy person or you're presenting as a wealthy person, you can barely expect that that person is making choices just completely out of love. Because honestly, it would be irresponsible to do so.
Yeah, but I mean, we're assuming that Luke knew all these things about her, and from this episode, it sounds to me like he didn't know any of it.
He
So
knew that she was young. He didn't know that she
yeah,
talked about all these bad men who had been actors in her life, but he knew that she was young. He knew that she'd been abandoned by her mother at a very young age. And I'm sorry, you're a grown man in your 30s and you're going to date a young woman who's 18, 19 years old and not think that those things drastically shaped her. You're lying to yourself and all the rest of us if you don't think so.
yeah, but you're also I don't know. I don't know if there are men that I know that actually look at the totality of a situation. They see something beautiful and that's what they go for.
Well, that their willful blindness to considering that or evaluating that, they're willing to override looking at those things because they see something beautiful and young in front of them. That's their fault too.
Yeah, but he's now also walking it back though too, right, Abby? He's saying, I don't know if I'm the one for you. That's what he's saying. He's saying he's having his doubts. He's like, this, we're both not happy. We're both fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not the one for you. And she's the one that's reeling him in like, oh, I'm going to finally tell you what I'm about, why I'm this way, and acknowledges that she's difficult because of A, she's super young, you guys, and B, she raised herself. She doesn't know what love is. So they both have an out here. They're not married yet. They could both say, you know what, let's walk away. So let's see what happens next episode. You guys let us know what you think in the replay, in the live chat. This is our last episode before Christmas. So Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you guys all.
Feliz Navidad.
Spread love. And however you're spending it, know that you are loved. And I know that the holidays can be difficult for many people. So don't forget to love on yourself.
Isuelos años felicidad. Bye bye.
Hi guys.
Adios.